Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Wet Palette podcast. I am your host, Brenda. As you may have heard, maybe, Bon Appetit's April issue just hit the stands with Miami being named their 2023 Food City of the Year, the first time they recognize an entire city. With me today to shine a light on this exciting development is David Whitaker, President and CEO of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Brenda.
Woo! I'd like to start, if you'll allow me, by reading a beautiful quote from the Greater Miami website about Miami that I recently read and fell in love with. And let me tell you why this is important. I am unapologetically highly critical anytime anyone describes Miami, but this one gets it right. The destination is unique and brimming with endless experiences. We are a range of emotions, sensations, and experiences, from warm and friendly to savory to sensual to thrilling, dynamic, and energized. Most of all, we are unexpected. This is the part I love. Unexpected in our cultural, hospitality, and entertainment offerings. Unexpected in the opportunities to be found, and unexpected in the diversity that beats at the heart of the destination. In everything we do and everything we put out and offer the world, we seek to embody and communicate this wealth and range in a way that is appropriate, authentic, and true to the brand. Amen. Did you write that?
I wish I did.
Whoever wrote that, kudos.
But it really does nail it, huh?
Right? It's beautiful. And I might be using that from now on. When anyone asks about Miami, I'm like, listen, we're unexpected. David, I know you graduated from USF. Were you also born and raised in Miami?
No, I've lived here a long, long time. In fact, I'm back for my kind of second tour of duty. I had started my career here right after college, originally from Georgia, by the way. And then from Georgia, the home of the Vidalia onion, so cooking has been a part of my life from the beginning. Mm-hmm. But after college, I found my way to Miami and started at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Was here for almost 18 years. Left to go to Toronto, another great tourism city. And then the last 5 years in Chicago. My predecessor, after an incredible career here, retired, and I was blessed to have a chance to come back. So I've been back all for almost a year and a half. Thrilled to be back in the city that I love, and things like Bon Appetit naming us Food City of the Year. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? You talked about savory, of that list of great adjectives, and really food is at the heart of a lot of the visitor tourism experience, whether you're a business traveler, whether you're a family vacation, whether you're just getting away with friends. We all love to get in that great city and have that great meal experience, and it really helps define a destination.
I have one question before we move on fully to Miami.
Tell me.
I have one question. Giordano's or Lumalati?
I like
Yes. Okay.
Lumalatis.
Okay. We can be friends now.
Yeah.
Okay. We can continue now.
Big fights up there.
So I hear, and if I say the wrong answer, sometimes they kill me. But we're good. Tell me, when did you first hear about this Bon Appetit designation? Was it a surprise by the magazine? Did you know this was in the works?
No. I wish we had. We probably could have prepared a little bit, but obviously, it was a surprise for us.
It's nice for it to be a surprise,
but a wonderful surprise. And then we quickly activated, of course, and have some plans in the future, including having a chance to talk to partners like you. But it really was my heads up was I got a phone call from a foodie that's a friend of mine who had gone to. He was traveling and he actually went to a newsstand.
Wait, not even the magazine called?
He had. They called literally the next day, but he had gone to a newsstand and had seen it because it hit the newsstands before it hit the subscriber base.
Okay.
And so I got a day's heads up notice, but we're thrilled. We're thrilled. And Bon Appetit's such a great partner in the whole publications lineup, and we're having a lot of fun with it.
As we should, and well deserved. How does this new accolade directly impact our community economically?
Well, food is synonymous with travel. We do a lot of visitor research tools that we use. Clearly, number one thing visitors do is shop. That's been decades long, probably ever since the first cavemen were vacationing. They went shopping. But number two, right behind shopping, is eating out. And when
Gotta eat.
And when you ask visitors what were the things that they remember most about their vacation experience, the food experience was right there at the top. We know that whether it's celebrity chefs, celebrity venues, celebrity destinations, these restaurants now are synonymous with a destination. They define us, especially in Miami, one of our greatest strengths. If you look at, and when your reader or your audience listens or sees Bon Appetit, the magazine, it features 8 restaurants that they wanted to highlight in 7 different neighborhoods, right? So whether it's Wynwood, Miami Beach, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Little Haiti, Little Havana, Alapata, Little River, that's what makes it so exciting, is sometimes these destination restaurants become the defining anchor of that neighborhood that draws visitors. And so having this recognition helps us promote our diversity. It helps us promote the neighborhoods that we represent. And it really is at the heart of what you talked about when you read that wonderful opening. The culture, the diversity, it's reflected in our art, music, and heritage, but of course it's also reflected in the recipes of these amazing chefs who are inspired by their own culture and heritage. And so it really is a great, I hate to say, a way to serve up the destination, no pun intended, but it really is a great way to bring it all together and over an amazing meal.
And because economically, so people are going to see this, they're going to bookmark it, they're coming in. Are there any plans to celebrate this grand honor citywide?
Yeah, we're going to be working with our mayor of Miami-Dade County. She's such a wonderful champion of everything good that happens. And so we're going to have a special day early in a couple of weeks where we'll announce, Bon Appetit, Best Food City, get a proclamation or two. Mayors love to give out proclamations.
Yeah, they do.
And it's also the great timing, whether it's the Michelin Guide coming out, again, great fanfare last year, the first ever. And that really speaks to the emerging momentum that we have as a food city. Michelin, first time they did a guide for Miami. Having 11-star restaurants in that first guide. News that there may be more this year at the end of the month when it comes out. So
that's what I hear.
Clearly food and the food experience, the chefs, the celebrity of it all is just, it's right up our sweet spot for what makes Miami so special.
I agree. The timing is really perfect. And it was exciting to have the Michelin Guide launch last year. As an avid food enthusiast covering the city's dining scene, especially the fine dining scene, over the last 10 years, I think it arrived at the perfect time. How did this arrival, as you were saying, tie into Miami's official strategy? So from your strategic point to evolve into one of the nation's strongest culinary leaders.
Well, I mean, one of the things we love is people like you. We love influencers and bloggers and people who are journalists and lifestyle, because you have such a following, right? And it's better coming from you, quite frankly, when you say you love something and your fans respect you so much. So that's part of our strategy. We host hundreds of influencers, food writers, travel writers, lifestyle writers. We bring them in from all over the country, all over the world. I think last year we hosted over 300 writers. And there's only 365 days a year, so it's a full-time. We have a team. That's what they do. They take people about. We put them up in a great hotel, of course, but then they get out.
Oh, I need to sign up. I'll just say I'm from Canada.
Exactly. Well,
I'll stay right there.
Done. Consider it done.
The Mandarin that
Consider
I'm looking at right now.
But and then they go out and they experience the food scene, right? And we all know this. We know this from our own behavior and our loved ones, right? When the plate comes, by the way, I can't even eat when the plate comes to my table. My wife has to take 5 photographs.
I get it. I have
her
an external
plate,
flash
my
and everything.
Plate. She's like, "Don't touch it, don't eat it," because of course and then she posts, because there's an adage about marketing, and it's whether you drive the car you drive, the purse you wear, the jewelry, the perfume you have, the outfit, the jacket, the tie for a man, the shoes we wear. We are what we consume, right? And food is part of that. And so what we love to do is show our friends that we're special, because we found that hot new place that everybody's looking to. Everybody wants to go to that hot new undiscovered restaurant, right? And it says something about you when you're in the cool factor, because you're there having that experience. And that's just, and at the end of the day, families gather around a meal. Our loved ones, companions gather around a meal. Celebrations are done over a meal. It's just so synonymous. It's so synonymous with our culture and our life, and it's right at the heart of everything, and at the heart of a great visitor experience.
Side note, I just saw a comedian said how in 20, 30 years from now, how things have changed about photography, and when our grandparents show us pictures, this is like, Timmy, this is your great-grandfather, and he was in World War II. And this is when we created our company that is now going to be yours and handed down. And years from now, it's going to change to, Timmy, this is my breakfast that I had in 1990. And
You're right. You're right.
And this is Mom looking in the mirror, doing some kind of duck lips. And So to what you're saying, generations have changed. But yeah, it's a big deal now. I mean, I'm guilty. I take thousands of pictures and videos, and so I totally get it. So South Florida is definitely having a moment, and I am clearly here for it all. And part of me wants to scream out to the world, I told you so. I feel like everyone's obsessed with Miami right now. But another part of me also worries I'm not going to get reservations anymore. But overall, I'm so proud of Miami. And 2023, as we were saying, is already off to a strong year with the James Beard semifinalists, the important Bon Appetit designation, and next month's Michelin Guide ceremony. Where is Miami's culinary scene headed from here, and what does it look like in 2028 or 2033?
You know, it's funny. People, it's like asking, where is South Beach headed? Where is, we've been talking about South Beach now for 30 years, right? And it just keeps evolving, right? And then next thing you know, it's Wynwood, and next thing you know, it's Allapattah, and Coconut Grove has had an incredible resurgence. So I think there's always going to be ebb and flow, right? There's always going to be that new, hot new place. In 5 years from now, we'll be talking about all the cool new restaurants in Hialeah, and I'm not kidding. I'm
so happy you said that because I keep telling I have
amazing.
Friends who want to invest, and I keep telling them to invest in Hialeah, and everyone ignores me.
But I mean, for those who are listening that remember, there was no Wynwood, 10 years ago, right? 15 years ago, and Coral Gables was hit, and then it wasn't, and was it, and what it wasn't. And Coconut Grove, the same thing. Even Miami Beach has its ups and downs. So. But what we know is when these hot spots open, neighborhoods, destinations, one of the first cool things is that cool new restaurant, right? That's an anchor that really helps define. And again, it's not all just fine dining. And some of these places are under a tree. Some of these places are in warehouse districts. Some of these places are served out of a food truck.
And our fine dining looks a little different, a lot different than it does in Chicago and New York.
Exactly. Well, the weather helps us because we can be so tropical where we can eat out a lot more often, and so but the restaurants become showcases themselves, just the aesthetics of the restaurant, and there are millions of dollars invested in the furniture and the lighting because it's all part of the ambiance, right? And it's all part of that entertainment experience. Any
plans that you can give our audience for the Michelin Guide? I was really surprised yesterday, this came off of left field literally, about the Marlins Park. That's really a really huge venue.
Yeah, so we're using that day to do a couple of things. Michelin is going to be the home run, no pun intended, right? Again,
we're just going to be full of those today.
But we're leading off.
Boom, boom, boom.
We're leading off with our annual State of the Industry presentation, where I, as the president, and our chairman, Bruce Oros, we just give a kind of it's Tourism Month and Tourism Week, and so we're kind of using that opportunity. We do it every year to kind of talk about where we are, the big conventions that we've secured for the future, how things are going. And then we're ending it with this amazing celebration of celebrating these chefs from all over. It's all over Florida. Our colleagues from Tampa and Orlando are also coming down to join us. And I have to tell you, I remember last year, one of these chefs was acknowledged. He was crying. Just think about the passion and think about his journey.
I was blessed to be there, and I couldn't even sleep. It was such an emotional night.
But you see the excitement of these chefs. They have often started in the back, worked their way up, learning from someone else perhaps, being second, and then it's their own place. And they had to get the investors, and they had to pay the bills, and they had to hire the staff, and then they had to get recognized. And all of a sudden they're being recognized as one of the best among their peers. And it's just an accomplishment like none other it's a beautiful thing. And I think that's what's at the beauty of all this. All chefs want other chefs to succeed. It's almost like floating tides, high tides float all ships. A thriving restaurant community helps every restaurant in it. So there is competition, of course, where you're going to go next Saturday night. But these chefs know that celebrating food starts with them, but also their fellow men and women chefs. And it's just a wonderful community that they've created.
It's just exciting. And yesterday was a little bit, it was kind of a little crazy in the morning when the news broke of it being such a big venue. So I'm excited for whatever comes of that, and hopefully it sounds like it's going to be just a little bigger than last year.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun
because of the location. So I read you're an avid cook, but can you tell me more of your favorite dining spots in the city when you need a break for celebrations?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I grew up on a farm. I'm the youngest of a big family, so the youngest, I stayed back when they were working outside, and I was the cook. So you talk about a lot of peer pressure, right?
I was just going to say it's a lot
and
of
then
pressure.
I worked in college. I also worked at a restaurant. I was a sous chef, and I just love cooking. And my wife's an avid chef as well. That's how we met. And food is synonymous with, Friday night at our house is go to the grocery store. It's like going to the library or going to, check out the old days when you'd go check out the videos or the records, right? I'm dating myself, but we go to we go to the grocery store like going to Publix. It's like we make up our own recipes. We test things over a good bottle of wine, of course. And just the food experience is something that you can share, right? That's synonymous. So I love cooking. I love eating. We love all our children, though, so I can't, as a representative of the Convention of Visitor Bureau, I can't say I have a favorite because, of course, they're all my favorites, right?
That's why I specifically said a break or celebration. Yeah. I didn't want to put you too much on the spot.
I have to tell you, anytime somebody comes to visit here, or an important client, Joe's Stone Crab is so synonymous with success and with so uniquely Miami, right? And so that's a great spot to bring out of town clients. And because it's only 6 months of the year, it's kind of you got to get it in there and get it done because it's almost over before it starts, right? So there's nothing quite as special as getting at Joe's and getting some stone crabs. And it's so Miami, right? The key lime pie, the stone crabs. And what a beautiful venue on South of 5th.
I agree. That's it? That's your only one?
You have
to give me at least two more.
Well, no, I mean, again, my wife, we love... Actually, I have to tell you, we love hole-in-the-wall places because of my work, and as you know, but sometimes you go to all these fancy places, it can become numbing after a while, right? Mm-hmm. But there's nothing like a little...
I get palate fatigue sometimes.
Yeah, palate fatigue. But there's nothing like going to that little hole-in-the-wall place. So for us, it's a strip plaza down the road from our house. It's a little Chinese place. And it's almost like the soup Nazi from the Steinfeld days.
Yes, you have to know.
They're so mean to us.
They're so mean to us, but you love
but the food is so good.
There's a sandwich place in Plantation that I love to go to, and I tell everyone it's super clean and it's delicious, but you have got to follow the rules. And the rules there is they have on the wall, they have these sheets, which he uses then to wrap after the sandwich is wrapped in plastic, he wraps your order form. So you took it from the wall, you take a pencil, you write down what you want, and he wraps it with it. So there's no question. Like if you say, I didn't want onions, well, it's written.
Yeah, he's got some experience on that.
Yes, and he does it one at a time, regardless of the line, without being flustered. He never even looks up. He just does it.
He's a machine.
He's a machine. If you don't like it, there's the door. But guess what?
The sandwich Nazi.
Oh my God, he's amazing. So I totally get it. But I love the abuse. I don't care. I get my little paper. I stay quiet. I just give it to him, and I'm done. So I could totally understand that. Anything else you would like to say to our community that we have not yet covered?
No, I mean, get out and support your, again, think about and I hate to go back to COVID. We've gone so far now. Yeah. But just think about how hard it was for the restaurant community for so long, and they've struggled, and they're back. And so, but get out there and support your favorite chef and the men and women who work in that restaurant, and make sure that you keep patronizing your favorite places because they need us. Those chefs need us, right? But what a great way to celebrate our city, And I remember back, of course, decades ago when we started Miami Spice, right? That was part of that strategy of celebrate.
What year did that start? Was it
like
10?
1993?
90s?
90s, believe it or not. Oh. Miami Spice. Okay. But I think around 97 would be my guess. But I should know. But
was it always called Miami Spice?
Yeah, the Miami Spice Restaurant Month. Okay. And again, the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, there's so many events that define us over an amazing meal. And so we're just blessed to have all the assets that we have, and it's a great way to share our city with the world. It is. And the world is noticing. Clearly, they have. And any words of encouragement to our next month candidates for Michelin, our chefs who are now sweating it? Well, I mean, and I think it'll be interesting. I think it challenges all of them to raise their game a little bit. I agree. I'm aware of a couple of chefs who came short, just a bit short. They were discouraged. I can't wait to see them get their due recognition. Yeah. But I think that competition is where they are upping their game. That brings that extra edge, right, to a chef who's a performer and an entertainer with his or her ability to put on that food a way that really gets to your heart and your tummy. Yeah.
I agree. I'm very excited. And so, David, thank you so much for taking the time to chat
I'm hungry.
with me. You're hungry? Let's go eat lunch.
Let's go have some.
I wish Lamar was open for lunch. I could see it. And thank you, Wet Palette fans, for tuning in to another episode. Remember, you can listen to this and all episodes on all major platforms such as Apple, iHeart, Audible, Spotify, Alexa, or directly on my website at thewhetpalette.com. Find me daily on Instagram and Twitter for live updates and all the scoop on Miami's dining scene. As always, from my palate to yours, cheers. Bye.